What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 2. I want to talk about David. Not even Michelle and David. I just want to talk about David. So it is the day of the wedding, and it's also his 36th birthday party. So he's in the dressing room with his groomsmen, one of them being his brother. His brother gives him a book, which is like a little self help book on how to be a good husband. And the brother said something very interesting. The brother told David, just remember to not react. Okay. And I thought that was very interesting. That could have meant a whole bunch of things, right? Because the brother didn't really go into detail of why he would say that and exactly what did he mean. But I felt like that could have meant so many things. The way that I took it from observing David, I felt like the brother was trying to say, that he probably gets um David seems very intense, and maybe sometimes he reacts without thinking. Maybe he gets emotional, maybe he might even have like I don't want to say a temper problem, but he seems like someone who's excitable, who is very much led by his emotions. And so when the brother told him, remember to just not react and take the time to listen and listen to understand, not just listen to react. I was like, okay, I'm seeing some things here. I'm seeing some things here in Mr. David. So David is intense. He's like this ball of energy, like this contained ball of energy. He's very, very intense. And he kept on crying. And I understand it's his birthday. It's the day that he's supposed to be getting married. And, he's probably been looking forward to getting married. His brother, who is younger than him, is already married. So maybe he felt like, is it ever going to happen for me? So now that it's actually happening, he could probably be getting very emotional for that. But I don't know. People who tend to just cry at the drop of a dime and just, but then again, I don't want to put too much on it because, he probably was just overwhelmed with this whole entire experience. Obviously, there's a lot of love in this family, a whole lot of love. But there's just something about David that I kind of felt like he kind of reminds me of that saying, failure to launch. Like he had all the workings of becoming very independent and very successful, but for whatever reason it just didn't quite jump off. Now let me talk more and you'll see where I'm going with this. One of the things that bothers me when I watch these type of reality relationship type shows, people who are looking for love, who are feel like they're ready to get married, they're ready to settle down or whatever. One of the things that bother me the most are the men who want a wife so badly, but they can't even provide the wife with a home, which I'm thinking is like the most basic thing. I don't care if it's an apartment, a mansion, a trailer. I don't care what the hell it is, but it's something of your own that you can call home, and you're going to bring your wife to that. Mr. David lives in his parents' basement, and nobody in this family thinks that there's anything wrong with it. Or if they do, they're not vocalizing it. I have a feeling that maybe the brother, might have a couple of things to say about that, but he can't go against the army of David and his parents, because David and his parents are super close, super tight, which is good. There's a lot of love in this family. Like I said before, there is a lot of love in this family. But I don't know what it is about David that makes his parents like, it almost comes across like his parents are very much babying him. They're very much coddling him. And I don't know if he's the oldest, but he's not the youngest. And he's 36 years old. And they see him and his parents see nothing wrong with him living in their basement, but he wants to get married. Now, if you want to be a bachelor and you want to live in your parents' basement for the rest of your life, more power to you. But when it comes to that point in your life when you're like, you know what, I'm ready to find a wife, I want to have a family of my own, you need a provider with a home. You need a provider with a home. Now, at least you have your own place, right? You have your own place. After that, y'all can make the decision of, do you live in her place, do you live in your place, or do you find a new place together? But you need a provider be able to provide her with a home. if nothing else. But you live in your parents' basement. And he talks about how the reason why this is something else that was like really irking me. These are just my personal opinions. I don't know this man from a hole in the wall, and I could be wrong, but these are just my personal opinions and my first impression from what I was watching and what I was hearing. When David said that, he loves his parents very much, and he says that some people leave home because they don't like their parents. What? So he's able to bamboozle himself, or maybe this is what he tells his girlfriends of like the reason why he is still living at his parents' house is he try like you're going to feed us this load of crap that people who leave home probably leave home because they just don't like their parents. They want to get away from their parents. And because he loves his parents so much, he has made the conscious decision to stay. And he pointed out and he made sure that he was very clear on this, that he has the ability to live on his own because he's had jobs, he's got multiple careers, multiple jobs. He has the ability to live on his own, but he chooses to live with his parents because he just loves his parents so much. And his parents find this to be very okay because they were like, yeah, we don't even want you to leave. We don't want you to leave our home. One more thing I want to say. This is like a little bit of a side note. Whenever the bride and groom are getting ready, when they're in the dressing room and they're getting ready and their family and friends are around them, sometimes when you look at the family and friends, they'll make these looks. They'll look at the bride or groom in a way that they're thinking to themselves, um, yeah, I probably would not have advised my brother, my sister, my friend to do anything like this because these people, this person is really not ready for marriage. You can tell, like, they'll look at them. And I got this, I felt like his brother gave this look. When David was talking about something and his brother was looking at him, and I felt like his brother was thinking to himself, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea for my boy. I don't know if he's ready for something as serious as marriage. I don't know. That's the feeling that I got. And I saw some of those looks as well when it came to Carla. But we'll talk about Carla later. So I was just upset because I'm tired of this, of seeing this over and over again, of people, talking about, I want to get married, I want a wife, blah, 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 but you're still living at home. He said he's a mama's boy, and this is something else that he tried to bamboozle us with. He said in the last episode, he says, I'm a mama's boy. What that means is that I love women. I admire women. I think women are the bomb. I think women, are just so fantastic and they're so great. And that's why I consider myself a mama's boy. And I had said in my other video that to me, a mama's boy is a man who is still a little boy and his mother is still mothering him and still raising him. And he can't do anything without his mom putting in her input or his mom telling him what to do and how to do it and where to go and all of this stuff. His mom plays a big role in his life in him making his decisions. That's to me is what a mama's boy is. But David tries to scam us or bamboozle us into saying, oh, that's not what a mama's boy is, someone who really admires women. Yeah, he admires the hell out of his mother above all else. And you should admire your mom. Of course you should admire your mom. But you can't you have to let go and be a man and make your own decisions. And I don't know, y'all. So he says he said he's a mama's boy, his own version of a mama's boy. And he's a mama's boy in my definition of what a mama's boy is. Y'all, look, maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't know. Maybe I'm way too critical. Maybe I'm way too pessimistic or whatever. But watching David walk down the aisle with his mom, that solidified it with me. There's nothing wrong with a mother walking her son down the aisle. Now, it's because of the way that he is, and because of, he kind of comes across to me as someone who, I don't know if he's like a failure to launch. Like, I don't know if he's fully ready to take on this role of being a provider and a protector and a companion and a whatever for his wife. I don't know if he's ready for that. If you need I don't want to be hypercritical about this because it's probably not a big deal. Maybe in their culture, I think he's, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is what they do, where the mom walks their son down. But because of the fact that I think he's a mama's boy, and then I see his mother walking him down the aisle. I would have loved it if both of his parents were there to walk him down the aisle. I don't think I would. It would have bothered me quite as much. I still would have been kind of like side eyeing it, but it would not have bothered me as much if both of his parents walked him down the aisle to show that, his parents are extremely important to him. But every other man on the show and also in previous seasons walked down the aisle alone. And we've even had, I think a couple of brides who've walked down the aisle alone. When you're taking on that role of becoming someone's husband, I'm going to need you to walk down the aisle alone. But like I said, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't even know what his culture is. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe it's a thing that his family does. So I don't want to put too much on it. But I kind of was side eyeing that because everything else about him shows that he's very coddled and spoiled, and his parents play like a huge role in his life. And it's like, when is the independence going to kick in? So we didn't get to see their wedding yet. Michelle is a very independent woman. Now, this is what I find hysterical. In episode 1, David said that he is looking for, like, a very strong, independent type of woman. He said that, but he still lives at home with his parents. He even talked about how he doesn't have any bills to pay. He has no expenses. So you live at home with your parents and you don't even contribute financially? You're a grown 36-year-old man, damn near 40. You live at home with your parents. You don't even contribute financially because you say you have no bills, you have no expenses. Like, why would I want to move out? He wants an independent, strong-willed woman, intelligent woman, but he lives at home with his parents, and his mommy walked him down the aisle. And he says that people who leave home are people who don't like their parents. Let's talk about Carla and Juan, but really, I want to talk about Carla. Okay, first of all, her dress was really nice. I thought it was very classic, was very simple. I think, I thought it fit her well. The front part, it was like just this plain color, plain design, but the back had lace in it. It was a nice dress. Okay, it fit her well. What do I want to say about Carla? Her parents didn't want to participate in this process. They support her. She said they really do support her, but they didn't want to be on camera, so that's why they were not at the wedding. What else I want to say about Carla? Okay, let's see. Is there anything to say about Juan before I dive deep into Carla? Um, Juan to me seems like he's very serious. Very serious. I, I I guess he does have like a very fun, jovial side to him because he loves to dance so much. So I'm assuming he's, he can be a lot of fun, but he comes across as very, very serious. His brother said something interesting as well. His brother said, no, Juan had mentioned how this whole process is not easy. And then his brother said, yeah, but you're also not easy. And I was like, uh-oh. And then Juan says, I have to learn to compromise. And I'm like, uh-oh, really? At the age that you're at, you still haven't learned to compromise and you want to get married, and compromising is like one of the major parts of marriage. hmm Luckily, both of his parents are there. Um, when he gets to the altar, he greets her family. He looks at, her family side of the room, and he greets her family. And he acted like he was getting emotional. And he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm a very sensitive guy." No big deal that he said that. He's expressing himself. He says he's sensitive. But I felt like he was trying to say things that might make him look more appealable or look good, because women love sensitive men who are in touch with their feelings. I don't want you to tell me that you're sensitive. I want to see it for myself that you are a sensitive person. It's like someone who keeps on saying, I'm a really nice person, or I'm a really good person. We don't want to hear it. We want to see it. So hopefully he'll show some sensitivity. Carla comes down. She walks down the aisle. Y'all, I felt like when she got to the altar, I felt like she was doing too damn much. I felt like she was doing too damn much. First of all, like I feel like Carla is playing a character named Carla. I don't see the genuineness in Carla. I think Carla kind of comes to me, she comes across as like she wants all the attention. She's on a television show. She wants to give us a show. She's like, I know my audience is watching me and I'm going to give them a show. That's how I see Carla. Carla to me is playing a character named Carla. I don't think we have seen the real genuine Carla yet. So when she comes to the altar, as she approaches him, she does this like, and I was like, oh my God. That to me was so cringe. It was so cringy when she did that. That whole, mm, I have no idea how much that bothered me. Maybe that's just her personality. So then after she did that, she goes, hello, mister. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood tonight. Maybe I shouldn't have watched this show tonight because maybe I'm just in a bad mood and I'm just complaining about things that are not worth complaining about. I don't know, but y'all, that irked the hell out of me. Next to Carla, Juan appeared really stiff at the altar. He appeared extremely stiff. I don't know what it is. I felt like there was something missing in their dynamic. Um, I just felt like there was something missing because with who are these people? Madison and Alan, I felt like they were connecting when they were standing at the altar, that there was chemistry there, because they couldn't take their eyes off of each other. And I pay attention to that. So when they're at the altar and they are listening to what their families have said about the other or each other, when the officiant is saying, oh, and Juan's family says he's, he likes to do this and he likes to do, at that part when the officiant is talking, I'm looking at the couple and I'm looking at them to see, are they making eye contact with one another? Is the eye contact like lingering or like they can't take their eyes off each other? Or are they busy looking at the officiant trying to avoid eye contact? And I felt like that's what was happening with Carla and Juan. That they were like, I felt like Carla at some times was like trying to avoid eye contact with Juan. Um, she was really playing it up for the camera. She really was. When they sat down to do their one-on-one talk, I liked the fact that he had his hand on her knee, which to me showed that he was a little bit more relaxed and that he was trying to get, make that physical connection with her, that physical contact with her. So I did like that. By the way, they did kiss at the altar. They kissed on the lips, which was good. Neither one of them have dated neither one of them have dated Latinos, in their, like, he hasn't dated a lot of Latinas and she has not dated a lot of Hispanic men. Excuse me if I don't know the correct terms, but they have dated people outside of their race, I guess. So that's, they talked about that. And their conversation did flow. There wasn't any lag in the conversation. There wasn't like, like blatant awkwardness. So they were talking and the conversation was flowing. They were learning a lot about each other. So that was good. But Carla at the altar, she was doing a little bit too much. Doing a little bit too much. Let's talk about Imem and Ikechi. So not Imam, Emem, Emem and Ikechi. So Emem, when she was getting ready, she had her bridesmaids with her in the dressing room. Her bridesmaids gave her a necklace that had a little picture of her dad. Her dad passed away a couple of years ago, so this was a way for her dad to still be with her in this process. Her mom is supportive of arranged marriages because it's very big in their culture, but her mom does not like the fact that it's being publicized on national television. So the mother has a problem with it being televised and her going through this for a TV show. So her mom was not there, which I kind of felt sad for MM for that because her dad has passed away. Her mom doesn't want to be there. She's been looking forward to getting married for a very long time and she was very excited. And I felt like she could have at least had her mom there. Her mom really should have been there to support her, but whatever. Because sometimes you might not believe in what your loved one is doing, but you know that your loved one needs your support and what they're doing. She has been engaged before, but never made it to the altar. Now, Ikechi is talking to. Okay, so let's talk about Ikechi. What's going on there? Ikechi writes a poem to a mem, and she reads the poem while she's getting ready. Y'all, I like Ikechi and I like a mem. I do like them. I'm not getting any like, big red flags from either one of them. I do like them. But Ikechi to me just kind of, just a tad bit, comes across as someone who is, he knows the right things to do, but I just don't know if he's sincere about the things that he's doing. Like, I can just see him thinking in his mind, man, I'm going to write a poem and that's going to really blow her mind because it's going to show that I'm sensitive, that I'm really good with my words. And I'm going to write all these things, on this really deep level. And it's just going to blow her. Like, I see him doing that because maybe he's trying to get a reaction, or maybe he's thinking this is what deep men do. So that's what I'm going to do. Don't know. That's the feeling that I get with Ikechi. But this might be his genuine self. I don't know. This is only episode 2. So as time goes on, I might be like, you know what? He really is deep. This guy is so deep. But for now, Ikechi kind of comes across to me as someone who is trying to mimic a very deep, thoughtful, spiritual type of guy, like really in touch with his creative side, his sensitive side. So I watched just a little bit of the after party, and they talked about that, about the poem that he wrote for her and her reading the poem and her reaction to the poem. Now, when she read the poem out loud to her bridesmaids, they kept on saying, oh, he's got bars. He's got bars. Like, this was a rap or something. And Akechi told Keisha Knight Pulliam, the esteemed Keisha Knight Pulliam, the iconic Keisha Knight Pulliam, he told her that he was trying to connect on a deeper level. As if he did not like the reaction that his poem gave. Like, he didn't want them to be like, oh, he's got bars. Like it was some, simple little rap tune. Like I guess he wanted her to cry or something. He wanted her to be like, oh my God, this guy is so deep. Oh my God. And just start crying. I don't know what he expected. I don't know why he would say it, why he said that to Keisha. Like, did you not like her reaction? Like, what were you expecting? And Keisha was trying to let him know, but it touched her heart. And that was your goal, right? To touch her heart. And he was like, yeah, yeah. So I was kind of, to me, that kind of made me feel like you're a guy that you're doing things for like a reaction. Like, you really want to do things. You want the girl just to like be knocked off her feet. You just want her to have some kind of a reaction to, I don't know, to make you feel like, I don't know. Like, it's very performative to me. It's very performative. His mother was there. He said that he was raised by his mom. I'm not sure what went on with his dad. His godfather was the officiant of the wedding. Um, Imam gave him a whiskey bottle. That was her gift to him. I don't know if it was a whiskey bottle because I don't know anything about liquor. So I don't know what's a whiskey bottle, a bourbon bottle. I don't know, but it looked like a bottle that you put liquor in it. And I think it was empty. And she had sent him a message that said something like, we're going to take this out to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. I guess fill it up with liquor and celebrate their 1 year anniversary with that. So his groomsmen were like, yeah, she's manifesting that y'all are going to be celebrating y'all's first year anniversary together. So that was nice. When they exchanged their vows, when they read their own personal vows, his sounded like a prayer. It was very deep. Ikechi could be a deep guy, so I could be wrong. I'm probably reading him wrong. Ikechi probably is a very deep guy. So he read her this poem. It was very deep. And not his poem. It wasn't a poem. It was his personal vows, which sounded almost like a prayer. And I don't know, like, once again, I don't know if he did it because he wanted people to cry. Y'all, I feel bad that I'm saying these things about Ikechi because I don't know him, and he could really be this type of a person. He is a creative. He writes, he loves music, he does all this really creative stuff. I think he paints. So he is a creative. So maybe he really is this type of guy. We also learn that MM is a nurse practitioner. So this is the part where they have their first one-on-one conversation, and they talk about the meaning of their names. Both of their names are Igbo, I think they said. She's actually Igbo. He's not Igbo, but his parents, I guess, really like the name. And they talk about their careers. He's in education. She is a nurse practitioner. And he also tells her that he did audition before for Married at First Sight when he lived in Houston. But he didn't make it. And she said, yes, he didn't make it because, we were destined to be together, which was, really sweet. So that's Ikeche and MM, Madison and Alan. Madison's dress was really nice. I liked her dress. I probably liked her dress the best out of all of them. Um, when she got to the altar, they hugged each other. He kissed her hand. They have a lot in common. Their jobs are very similar. They both like Germany. Um, when they had their one-on-one conversation, it went well. They were both very pleased with each other. You can tell that they were attracted to one another. So there, it seems like everything went well with Madison and Alan. We got a little bit of Camille and Thomas, but not much. They were having their one-on-one conversation after exchanging vows at the altar. They talked about their backgrounds. He talked about being adopted, etc. He's a twin, as we already know. His brother is married to a twin, and she has siblings that are twins. So that's interesting. Now, Camille, to me, I felt like was I wish that she was a little bit more relaxed when she was having her one-on-one conversation with him. I wish she was a little bit more relaxed. She seemed a little bit distant with him, just a tad bit. They did not act like, and I understand that they don't know each other. They're complete strangers. I get it because they say it so many times in the show. But I wish, because, like with Carla and Juan, they were sitting in a really relaxed state, and he had his hand casually draped over her knee, very casual, very comfortable. But Camille and, what's his name again? Camille and Thomas, there was like distance between them, and she was standing like kind of like trying to be separated from him, and it was very stiff, and it wasn't relaxed, and it wasn't like, she wanted to get closer to him. He seemed like he was happy. He said, he thought she was beautiful. He seemed pleased with her, so we'll see how that goes. Now, when they showed us the preview for next week's episode, and Camille questions why was he in a 9-year relationship but never got married, which makes her think he doesn't really want to be married. I'm like, girl, no, please, let's not start. Let's not start this early with that. Girl, who knows why they didn't get married? The thing is, he's married now. He wanted to get married now. It doesn't matter that he didn't get married back then to whoever that he was with for 9 years. Okay, there could have been so many damn factors. He's getting married now. He wants to be married now. And so she was trying to imply that if he was with a woman for 9 years and they never got married, then he probably is not serious about staying married to me. Well, you don't know that. Give it a chance. I don't know. I have no room to talk because I sounded like a negative Nancy in this whole video. So she has the right to be a negative Nancy. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.